Hello there guys and welcome to Nerd Kingdom. Today we've got something a little bit different. I apologise about the background noise. I've got fans running because we're currently experiencing a heat wave and I would not be able to record this video without a couple of fans in the background just trying to keep me cool. So today we're going to be taking a look at something that I just finished watching yesterday for the first time, and that is Avatar: The Last Airbender. Now, I was born in the late 90s, so I remember this being on TV. This is a 2005 animation. It is 3 seasons long, and it is currently on Netflix. So I decided, after hearing so many great reviews on this, I mean, it's got like on IMDb 9.2, it's got like a 9 on TV.com, Rotten Tomatoes is getting like 100%. It's got so many good reviews and good ratings that I decided I would finally give it a go and watch it myself and see what I thought. And oh my word, I've really enjoyed my time with Avatar: The Last Airbender. Now, even though I grew up at a time when this was on TV and was just a program that was running, I didn't actually watch it committedly, and I may have watched 1 or 2 episodes, but I don't have rose-colored glasses when I look at this TV show. I don't feel inherent love towards it, and I don't despise it. I didn't hate it. I went into this with a pretty open mind as an adult, looking at this TV show for the first time. And bear in mind, I'm also watching this as part of a Netflix binge. We're still in lockdown to a degree, so I've been watching a lot of TV and just spending my time doing a lot of things that I wouldn't normally have done. And so I've watched a lot of great shows and great programs that I would not necessarily have watched anyway, and this was just one of them that I thought, well, I might as well give it a go. The concept of Avatar: The Last Airbender is that the Avatar, the master of all 4 elements, has been basically trapped in ice for 100 years, and in that 100 years, these 4 nations are basically at war. There are 4 nations in this world, and there's the Fire Nation, there's the Earth Kingdom, there are the Air Nomads, and there are the Water Tribes. And the Fire Nation has basically started this giant war. And this is explained to you right in the opening section of the TV show.
Long ago, the 4 nations lived together in harmony. Then, everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked.
I mean, I can't really explain it any better than that. That gives you the whole insight into what this show is pretty much about and what's going on. Now, as you can imagine, a show like this, which is intended for a younger audience, is going to have a lot of exposition. There's going to be a lot of moments where you're just told what is happening and what is important, or the characters conveniently come up with the correct way of doing something at the right moment. So you've got to bear that in mind. This is designed, this is created for a younger audience, but even though it is created for children, it was on Nickelodeon, this is still an absolutely fantastic series. It is brilliant. I would hold it up there with some of the more adult and more enjoyable series that I've watched as an adult. It's just really, really well made. I think part of the reason that that is the case is because it has some fantastic characters. I mean, it has a really, really good list of characters. I mean, some of the main characters you have in here is you have Aang, who is the Avatar, and you meet him in episode 1, along with Katara and with Sokka. And these are sort of the main trio of the Avatar: The Last Airbender series for basically the entire, almost the entire way through. It is interesting that we've got an Avatar main character that is so childish and so inherently innocent, but also has such a high weight on their shoulders. It always makes for a good sort of main character. I mean, it reminds me a lot of Harry Potter in that you have a chosen one. In the case of Harry Potter, that is, of course, Harry Potter. In the case of Avatar: The Last Airbender, it's, of course, Aang, the Avatar. Then you have, you know, sort of more of a level-headed, strong female character in terms of Katara. And then you have more of a playful sort of male character, Sokka. The way they ended up overcoming their own individual struggles throughout the course of this story was just really fantastic and so satisfying to watch. I mean, you watch, for example, in the first episode, within the first 5 minutes, you can see that Katara is kind of a little bit ashamed of her waterbending, trying to get better at it, and towards the end she's just phenomenal at it, and she goes through this really great journey trying to improve on her skills. It's the same with Aang. Aang, the premise of it is that he needs to learn and master all 4 elements before he is able to stop this war that is ravaging the world. and he needs to learn each element one at a time, and the training and the difficulties that he goes through in order to try and master those elements is just really satisfying to watch. There's some really great conclusions and some really interesting and brilliant moments. I don't think it would be fair talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender without talking about one of my favourite characters, who is Zuko. Zuko is basically a disgraced prince trying to capture the Avatar for the Fire Nation in order to basically regain his honor, and that is the whole sort of purpose of him. But he is just a fantastic character. I'm trying to keep this as spoiler free as possible, but Zuko is a character that has so many twists and turns and just interesting moments throughout his entire development that by the end of the series he was one of my favorite characters, and I liked him all the way through, but I absolutely adored him and loved him towards the end because of just the arc that he'd gone on. Again, one of the other things that really interests me about this show that I wasn't expecting is that even the supporting characters, those minor characters that maybe may pop up for an episode, all felt important by the time I got to the end of season 3. They all felt like they mattered and that there was a reason for them being introduced. It just felt really well planned out and plotted out, and I just really, really enjoyed the whole journey that I went through watching this show. One thing I kind of do have a little bit of an issue with, and it's an issue I have with a lot of cartoons, is that the pacing of it sometimes feels a bit off. They'll spend a long time, I mean these are 23-minute long episodes-ish. They'll spend quite a long time setting up the premise of that episode, and then characters will conveniently come to the conclusion that they need to just in time for the wrap-up of the episode. They'll also have several episodes that are sort of dedicated to kind of just random mini-stories that happen at this time period, so they're not important to the central story of Avatar: The Last Airbender, but they're in there and they're taking up a whole episode slot. Those, for me, as an adult, I really didn't enjoy. I didn't find them interesting, or, I didn't really get the point of them, but I also understand that if the showrunners felt like that was needed and maybe they wanted to put something in there to help stretch out a story for a season, then I understand that as well. One thing that I think is the most important is, well, after spending several nights with this show and watching 3 seasons of it, as an adult, did I enjoy it? And yes, 100%, I really did enjoy this show. I wasn't expecting to enjoy a cartoon that came out in my childhood as much as I did as an adult. But this is just phenomenal. I can't believe I didn't watch it sooner. And I would recommend that if you guys are on the fence or thinking about watching it, then give it a look. For me, Avatar: The Last Airbender is just one of those TV shows that I would recommend to everybody. At some point in your life, you should give a look at. If you're a parent and you're looking for something fun to watch with your children, it's one that I think you could enjoy and your children would enjoy. It has some really great, wholesome moments in there, but there are also some fantastic character stories and basically some great moral quandaries that they have to sort of overcome and sort of deal with, and I think that overall the series is just fantastic. It's pretty short, at only being 3 seasons long. It's really enjoyable. It has a great cast of characters that you will just fall in love with at one point or another, and I hope you guys give it a look and I hope you enjoy it. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.